How did Sony go from this to this? Let's talk about that. What's up guys, Scholar here, and today we will be talking about where Sony went wrong with Spider-Man and how they can fix their universe because they don't seem to know what they are doing with it. Before I continue the video, I talk a lot of Spider-Man stuff, but also Marvel in general, and I enjoy the occasional DC as well. So if that sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on so you do not miss any uploads. So let me set the stage for you guys. The year is 1999, and you're looking for a Marvel character to buy because Marvel went bankrupt due to some bad investments and they were selling off their rights to make ends meet. You see Iron Man, you see Captain America, the Hulk, Thor, and etc. But you're like, nah, none of these are good and won't do any good in the long run. But then you see Spider-Man and you instantly just pick that one. You purchase the film rights and, if I'm not mistaken, the TV rights at the same time for Spider-Man. Wow, what a great power you have. What a great responsibility you now possess. So boom, next step is you hire a filmmaker and you choose this filmmaker who is very outside the box thinking. He's very creative and he has a very specific vision to make this character really come to life in a way that has not been done before. So he bombs the movie, it's a blockbuster hit. You and this director just made history with Spider-Man and changed the way superhero movies are looked at for generations to come. So now you make a TV show that is loosely based off the events after this first Spider-Man film. Then you make a sequel to the first film and it does even better and is considered by most people the best superhero movie of all time, that being Spider-Man 2. So now you're like, alright, great, let's put another out, but in this one, you tell the director that at this point has made you millions with a B. You tell him that, hey, we want this character in this movie, but the director doesn't necessarily want to do that character because he had other plans in mind, and he also doesn't really know too much about this character. But you don't care. You know the fans want to see this character because he's more fresh and new, and you know it will make money in the box office. He puts the character in the movie and Spider-Man 3 comes out and it gets very mixed reviews, but still makes good money, and that's all you care about. But you get reviews that say, how could Sam Raimi, having gone so right with Spider-Man 2, have gone so wrong with Spider-Man 3? You see this and you know it isn't Sam Raimi's fault, but you just let it go and let him deal with the criticism. So then you just say, alright, let's just make a fourth, and at this point you can't stand the creative differences, the timing, the scheduling, the love, and the care, the needs that the director has for this character himself and the series. The same director that has made you $2.5 billion, again, not million, billions of dollars. He felt like he let his audience down with the third installment, and it wasn't his fault, and you knew that, but he didn't. But you want him to rush the fourth installment. You can't wait, because if it's too late, you lose that great power that you possess. But at this point, it's too late because you've already lost that sense of great responsibility you have that comes with that great power that you possess. So you just end up canceling the project and you just kill the dream. In the meantime, while you're figuring out your game plan for your live action movies, you put out this fantastic cartoon. It's an amazing piece of art, The Spectacular Spider-Man. It gets great feedback, but then you lose the rights back to the original owner, Marvel, and you don't want to sell the rights of that property back to Marvel because you don't want them to profit off of your work because you're greedy and not thinking of the fans that enjoyed the show and how great it was. Very Gen X, millennial, parent style thinking, basically your way or no way. So back to the drawing board for the live action films, and you start with a new fresh voice, another great filmmaker that has an interesting and different approach than the last one, but you continue to micromanage, you continue to push for certain things the filmmaker doesn't necessarily agree with. You don't let the filmmaker do what he wants to do and don't let him be his full creative self. You are scared. And sadly, this creator and the star of this franchise had the most potential. You put out the Amazing Spider-Man. The audience is not responding as well as they did to the original filmmaker's vision. You micromanage more, you rush more, you are terrified because you just lost the animation rights and you continue to meddle too much, and you can't just let the creative voice make a coherent story because you tried setting up too many things at once, leaving the audience with a beautiful looking disaster that is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now at this point, this new franchise, it has its good and it's underrated, but it has very bad reviews because, again, there's too much going on, the writing wasn't very good, so you end up falling out with the star of the franchise even, and in the process ruined his perception of this character that he has loved since a little kid and has dreamed ever since a little kid about playing this character. You not only let down the star of your franchise, but you let down the fans as well. It's now 2014 and you don't know what to do after this mess you created, so what do? You make a deal with the biggest movie studio in and sling shoot Spider-Man straight into the MCU. Obviously, you are Sony Pictures, and with that, you now want to build your own Spider-Man universe. This is what you've wanted for the better part of a decade, but there's a major issue. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, and it's that simple. I just want to make something clear that I am definitely not a filmmaker or writer, but I'm a Spider-Man fan just as much as you most likely are since you're watching this video, and us Spider-Man fans have very passionate, strong, spicy opinions when it comes to the webhead. So with that being said, if you were Sony and you were in this situation, what would you do? Comment down below, let me know. So first, let me get this out of the way. Clearly, Sony has definitely made some good Spider-Man content. We cannot deny that, sadly. The Sam Raimi trilogy, the new animated series, the Spectacular Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, heck, even Insomniac Spider-Man. And Insomniac did make it, not necessarily Sony, but Sony bought Insomniac, if I'm not mistaken, so they own that Spider-Man too. But the point is that they know how to make good Spider-Man content, and they have an eye for good Spider-Man content. So now, after the short history breakdown of Sony owning Spider-Man properties and how they got in the tangled web of Sony's Spider-Man universe, some of the following are fundamentals and others are my personal proposals, but here's how they can fix it. So first off, Sony needs to let the MCU do its thing. Ever since the first Avengers film's success, Sony has wanted to create their own cinematic universe. And I mean, but by all means, that's fine. But low-key, they trying to steal Kevin Feige's sauce, the MCU drip. That's why in Amazing Spider-Man 2, they tried setting up so many different things and the movie wasn't received well. But what they don't understand is that things like that take time. The MCU did, what, 5 films before they even thought about making the Avengers film. They took their time. Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and yes, there were cameos, but they made sense. They weren't just there to be there. Obviously, they were there to set up the Avengers film, but the story was there. The story was coherent. It made sense. These characters needed to be there. Why was Michael Keaton's Vulture in Morbius?
Hope the food's better in this joint.
There was no need for that to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the point of them having their own universe so that they can establish their own characters, their own versions of these characters, or different actors to portray these characters, their own lore, their own stories, their own Spider-Man universe, to have different takes on all of these villains and heroes we love so very much? Isn't the whole point of it so that it's their own universe and not a part of the MCU? It's okay to have like some tie-ins here and there. Now this next part is my opinion. Everyone may not agree with this and that's okay. But for example, the No Way Home post-credit scene for Venom, I thought that was okay because likely they're setting up another Venom for the MCU, and maybe the MCU can have a symbiote saga after the multiverse saga or after the mutant saga or whatever they plan to do. The point is things like that are okay. Sure, it sucked because we thought we would see Venom versus Spidey, but it was just for Venom to plant a seed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so that they can tell some stories with the symbiote and null the symbiote god, I imagine, and things like that. I think that's fine, but this Michael Keaton Vulture stuff in Morbius isn't it and does not make sense. If they want to do a Sinister Six, that's fine, go ahead, but why not cast someone else? Why not use a different character? Make us care about the characters in your universe. Don't use characters from other universes. That's just lazy writing. Which segues into one of my biggest issues with Sony owning Spider-Man, the writing. Now, as I stated earlier, I am no filmmaker or writer, but let's just go back and again look at all of the amazing adaptations of Spider-Man Sony has had a hand in. These all have great writing in one way or another. The last film that had really good writing was Spider-Man 2, and it's probably because they didn't meddle too much into the project with Sam Raimi and they let him do his thing. Why is it that the Sam Raimi trilogy, the new animated series, Spectacular Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, Insomniac Spider-Man, all of them have like pretty good writing, but they can't hire a good team of writers for their live action films? They made $2.5 billion off the Sam Raimi trilogy. They made $1.5 billion off the TASM franchise. Why or how have you not taken like a little amount from that $4 billion and hire a good team of writers? There's honestly no excuse, and I honestly don't even have an answer for this question because Sony should not be in this situation at all. The Venom movies were okay. It's cool to see Venom on the big screen and all, but the writing, like it's not bad, but like it's not good neither. And let's not even talk about Morbius. That's out of the question. Speaking of Venom, perfect transition into my next point. Now hear me out, guys. This is a pretty fucking crazy idea I got. You guys ready? I don't think you guys are ready, but here it is. This is going to be a pretty ballsy idea, but I think it could work. Maybe, just maybe. have a Spider-Man for your Spider-Man universe. Holy fucking shit, guys. I just solved the Matrix. Okay, on a serious note, why is there a Venom movie without Spider-Man? It makes absolutely no sense because Venom's origin is through Spider-Man. Why did we get a Morbius movie? Why are we getting a Craven movie? Why are we getting a Madam Web movie without Spider-Man in it? Granted, there's actually a chance we could see Spider-Man in Madam Web, but as far as we know, there isn't a Spider-Man in that movie. But I think we all know that there won't be a Spider-Man in the Craven movie as well, and we'll probably just see Morbius or a Vulture cameo in there. You know, honestly, it's just crazy how we're even having this conversation. Like, why is Sony's wait, what's it called? Did they change it again? Oh, here, they did change. It was different before. Why in Sony's Spider-Man universe is there no Spider-Man to be found? No Peter Parker to be found? Why is Sony's Spider-Man universe Spider-Man-less? It's pretty redundant and clickbait if you ask me. So now you were there, I was there, we all were there, and we all smiled so hard, and for about an hour our problems were nothing. They were non-existent, and we had been dreaming about this moment since probably Spider-Man Homecoming, seeing all three Spider-Men on screen swinging together, fighting some of our favorite villains together. Andrew and Toby were back, and for an hour the world was all collectively smiling and just thinking, is this a dream? But then realizing we're actually here seeing three Spider-Men on screen together for the first time in history. We experienced history together, and as we all know, Hollywood will capitalize on that smile. Holy shit, hold on, wait, they already did with the fun stuff version, which I did a video on if you would like to check that out, shameless plug. But honestly, it's really just so simple, Sony. Give Andrew Garfield all the money he wants and script approval, because we want Andrew Garfield back as Spider-Man, and he was the fan favorite of Spider-Man No Way Home because he was written well and he wasn't given a horrible script. Mark Webb and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe was pretty great despite some questionable costume designs and again, the horrible writing. Other than that, their films were good. Out of all three Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield has had the most potential, but it got wasted. Andrew Garfield is an amazing actor, and he was given a horrible script for the TASM series, which ties back into why Sony needs to hire better writers. But also, the last time we saw Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, he had a new sense of peace, but also a lot of unresolved issues on the inside. He's still learning to live, love, and laugh, but he's willing to lose, to fall, and to get back up and do it all over again, and that's what Spider-Man is about. This is the perfect time for Sony to do something really cool, really different with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But oh, brand confusion, two different Spideys in two different universes at the time. No, shut up. First off, that's double money, and we all know Sony likes money. Second, we already have established that variants exist in different universes simultaneously, so why can't they do it? They can if they really wanted to. But here's the thing, he doesn't need to be in every film. He just needs to be present where Spider-Man or Peter Parker's presence is needed, like a Venom origin story, and etc. But now, as everything good usually does, sadly it comes to an end, and Andrew Garfield would have to pass on the torch. Now don't get me wrong, as amazing it would be to see Miles Morales in live action, how would they do it? I mean, thinking about it, they have two options. Option one, they could do a Miles Morales origin story of their own, like a solo movie or whatever, but what would that consist of and how would they do it? Because typically Peter is involved in that origin story somehow, some way. He doesn't have like a big significance in it, but from my knowledge, he's at least present in the story somewhere. But I guess you don't necessarily need Peter for a Miles origin. All you need is Oscorp and the spider with the number 42 on it, and boom, you got Miles Morales Spider-Man. So they could do an origin story movie for Miles, or option two, which I think at least would be the best case scenario, in Beyond the Spider-Verse, have Miles go from the Into the Spider-Verse universe into the live action universe, cast an actor to play Miles, and boom, we got our live action Miles Morales. Only issue with this, I guess, is you would have to had watch the Into the Spider-Verse trilogy, but the character is already set up at least and would have been through so much already and would be ready to take on the responsibility of being the new Spider-Man in a world where Spider-Man is no more. My last issue with the Sony Spider-Man universe is to stop making every film a superhero film. It's dumb. Why on earth was Morbius a superhero film? This was a massive missed opportunity. You could have did the first, or well, first from my knowledge at least, supervillain horror movie type film and made it scary, or just literally any other subgenre, thriller, whatever, you know? You literally have a living vampire as a character and didn't make the movie scary or spooky at all, or you didn't do any type of experimentation. Not every character should be following in Spider-Man's footsteps, especially his rogues gallery. Now onto Venom. I sort of get why they made it a superhero film type thing, because technically he is an anti-hero, yes, but we didn't really care for the character like we do Spider-Man or whatever other superhero characters we care about in other films, and the reason for this is because because Venom was originally a villain fueled by the symbiote's rage for Spider-Man abandoning the symbiote combined with the rage from Eddie Brock by having his career and life ruined by Peter Parker. Of course, it's cool to see Venom on screen. We haven't seen him on screen since Spider-Man 3, so I mean, that's pretty cool, but other than that, like, again, why should we care about this character? The whole reason we like Venom is because he became a villain due to Spider-Man ruining his life, and then to put his rage and feud with Spider-Man to the side because he comes to realize that, okay, yeah, I still hate this guy's guts and want to eat them because he ruined my life, but you know what? There are innocent people out there that could get hurt due to this feud that I have with Spider-Man. Just because I hate this guy and want to kill him doesn't mean I should endanger innocent people, because he also realizes that he was innocent once before he turned into Venom, so he vows to become the lethal protector that we all know and love. So we don't have that, so why should we care about this character? You didn't give us anything similar to that for us to care about Venom. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. Literally the last video when I posted it, I had 50. First video, I just needed to say thank you guys so much for 50 subscribers. In this video, I now have 100. That's insane, guys. Literally, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the support a lot. I try my best to push out some quality content, and as long as y'all show support, I'll gladly push out more content. I used to be a viewer just like you guys, so if anything, just look at it as if I can do it, you can do it. And I know 100 isn't too much, but still, like, that's a lot of people. 100 people. But yeah, anyway, that's everything I got for you guys today. So if you are new to the channel and enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. If you already have subscribed, don't forget to leave your opinion on what we talked about today, or your opinion on today's video in the comments below. I always read and respond to comments. Just fucking listen to the fans, Sony. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Lets me know if you guys want more of this type of content. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.